Hey gang, Lou here from Jersey Shore Fabricators. Well, another day, another Colorado, another lift kit. This one we're going to do a different lift kit on. It's from a company called Zone Off-Road. Those of you who own Jeeps know who Zone Off-Road is. So I figured I'd give their leveling kit a shot. It's 1.25 inches, which for this truck ought to be perfect. Customer just had brand new tires on it. He needs brakes too, so we're going to be putting on a set of Powerstop drilled and slotted rotors with their street performance pads. Should help this guy stop a little quicker. In case you missed the first video, here we go. We're going to do it again. Round back here, there's two 17mm bolts. One there, one there. Okay. One at the top, one at the bottom. Remove those. Now remember, the factory uses Loctite on them, so they're going to fight you. So you can either turn the wheel, get an impact gun in there. If you don't have an impact gun, if you don't have an impact gun, you can use a breaker bar too. And then after that, they should turn out. Okay, at that point, the caliper's out. So you still got some life, but we're going to go ahead and do the brakes anyway because the rotors are a little scored. Now, it's time to start making room more or less for the lift kit. So you're going to take off this nut here, which I believe is a 17 or a 19. We have one bolt holding on his ABS wire and the brake line here. Want to get that out of the way. Then after that, the fun part is going to be going after his sway bar link, which you can see here is pretty rusted, so should be fun. So you are going to use a 17 to get this off, the upper ball joint. Now you may have to put a C-clamp between here and here because the ball joint may move. Not a big deal. Make sure you get yourself a little wire tie or something to hold up your brake caliper. 13mm to take off the bracket in the back here for the ABS sensor and the brake line. For the sway bar, you're going to need a 15 up top, 13 on the bottom. Comes out like every other sway bar length does. Drops out the bottom. You got this middle piece here. You got your top nut with the bushing. And then of course your through bolt. Now, last thing you need to do, get the tie rod out of the way. And then we're going to go after this big guy. And then we get to go after those three bolts right up there. Then we can take the strut out and put the leveling kit on. So, at the top of the strut, you're going to have three 15mm bolts. Two of them you get from the front. One you're going to need a long extension and get to it from the engine compartment. You can see it. Can't get your hand on it. You're actually going to have to reach behind here to get it started and get it off. Make sure your sway bar is disconnected on both sides. I forgot to mention that before. Then, take out the 22mm bolt down here at the bottom. And then your strut's out. Now, here comes the hard part. Ready? Dramatic music. There you go. Your lift kit's installed. Now, put it all back in the truck. Okay, so now once you get everything bolted back together, you get the three nuts up there on the strut. Use the new new nuts that come with the kit. The nuts that came off were 18mm. These are going to be 15. Reinstall the factory lower bolt on the strut. Reinstall the upper control arm. Now, if you didn't notice, and I know I didn't mention it, but on the bottom of the stud, okay, right down here, there's an Allen key. There's a hole for an Allen key. It's going to be 6mm. Use that to hold it while you're backing the nut off, and also while you're installing it. On the tie rod here, see how it has a hex head on it? Use it. You're going to need it to get that bolt off and put it back on. Then go do the other side. Then come back and do your sway bar link, because you can't get the strut out with the sway bar in the way. Reattach your ABS brackets over here, and you're done. Now, if you're here for the brakes, This is the part where we start the brakes. Okay, 2015 Colorado front brake upgrade using Powerstop drilled and slotted rotors and their Street Performance brake pads. Now, the caliper has two 19 millimeter bolts that go into the upper control arm here. Into the spindle. You're going to remove those, get yourself a little tie wrap, and support the caliper. Now, before you do anything, there's a little star bolt here. It's terrible. Hold on. There's that star bolt. All right. Most likely, it's going to be Loctited in. So, if you have an impact wrench, impact driver of some kind, you're going to want to use it. Most likely, you're going to have to heat it. Now, you don't have to get out the big goofy torch. Just a regular, good old-fashioned map gas will get it done for you. Sorry about the quality. The lighting is just all kinds of crazy right now. So let me go ahead and get this zipped off. And go grab your new rotor. Now, they are directional. It doesn't matter where they go. They even took the liberty putting a sticker on it. Now we're working on the front driver's side. That's the front driver's side. Now before you go and slap that on, take some brake clean, clean off the rotor surface. Make sure you line up the hole with the hole on the truck. Where the hell is it? Right there. You don't have to use that screw. It just keeps the rotor centered while you put the caliper back on. They mainly put it there for the guys on the assembly line. Also, while you're in here, come in here and clean this all up. Get all this rust and gunk off of here. And then give everything a good coat of Never Sees. So we're going to do that. Be right back. Okay, that's putting the rotor on. Nice and easy. Lighting is absolutely... LED light is absolutely horrible. I know you guys are going to see all that, and I apologize. Okay, and that's putting the rotor on. Nice and easy. Don't forget to put your little screw back in. Now, we'll move on to the caliper. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice when you look at the top of the caliper is that there's a little cotter pin here and a little cotter pin here, and then two studs that have Phillips heads on them. Got to remove these cotter pins, or what I like to call Jesus clips, because if you lose them, you're praying to Jesus that you find it. Okay, so that's one. That's two. Now, let's see what it takes to get these out. Now, once you get those pins out, what you can do is take a screwdriver and sort of move the pads back and forth and press the pistons in, because they're 4-piston calipers. Once you do that, you got enough room to nice and loose, like that, and then you can, it'll go, there we go, take that off. Then there's two 17mm bolts on the back of the caliper, pull that off. Now, something I didn't go over, when you have the caliper off, inside right here, where the caliper contacts the, where the brake pads contact the caliper, and on the face of all the pistons, clean that really good, wire brush, whatever, brake clean, and then use disc brake caliper grease on it, grease those up. Grease will prevent squealing. Squealing is vibration. And also because things have to be able to move around freely, we want to make sure it has every opportunity to. Now once you do that, you're going to start putting your pins back in. So this pin here is going to go in, sort of push down on this tab, right where my thumb is, okay, and continue driving that through until it comes out the other side. And then repeat for the other one. Now it's not something I could do with one hand, and you're going to need a hammer most likely, and you're just going to give it some gentle taps to get it moving. And that's the part where I need my other hand. Then, make sure that your hole is aligned here for your Jesus pins. And pop those in, and you are done. So here's the completed brake package. Looks pretty good on the truck. Customer's very happy with the way they perform. Just make sure you brake them in the right way. And here's the completed project. Raised the front 1 3/4 instead of 1 1/4. Again, customer's very, very happy. Had it all detailed and shined up. Enjoy, guys.